Hey guys, welcome back. It's Dave. We're playing around with Stagecast. And to get us started in this section of videos, we're playing around with the evaluation version. This is the free version you can download from their website, stagecast.com. It does have some limitations, and we will bump into some of those limitations while we play around. But you'll be able to see some of the things you can do with the software to see if it's something you might want to grab a hold of and play around with yourself. Well, this is our second video, and in this video we're actually going to create a little game. And I don't know if we'll be able to do the entire thing in one video, but I want to get a start on it today, and we'll actually save it today to show you how to do that in this software. So here I am at the main screen. I just double-clicked its icon, and I want to go in and create a sim. And as I showed you in the first video, first thing I like to do is to open up the menu, resize my screen so that it's not hiding anything, and then open up a certain couple of screens. Today it'll just be global. Okay? And to help us, we're going to turn on the grid. All right? Usually you don't want the grid on while you're playing the game. Okay? Well, here's what I'm thinking. Today I want to make a game that involves the mouse and some movement and a score. All right, so here's what I'm envisioning. First of all, the stage is going to be outer space, and outer space is usually black. So this light gray screen isn't going to help us too much. So to change that, I'm going to come to this menu, and I'm going to come to the item called Stages. And when you click it open, you see this window. And this item here represents this stage. If I double click it, I can look at the variables that are associated with this stage. And what I want to do is come to this item, background color, and I'll hold its little white triangle down. And while I'm holding it, I can come up and down and pick the color that I'm interested in. Way at the bottom, you'll see a new color, which would allow you to change to a specific color. But I see mine up here, black. So once it's highlighted in yellow, I'll just let go of the mouse, and now I have my black screen. Okay? While I'm on here, I want to show you something else. This is a space game. If something goes off the screen, I want it to appear on the opposite side. If it goes off the bottom, I want it to appear on the top, and so on. That's what this wrapping left and right, wrapping up and down. Okay? I'm going to leave these turned on. Okay? All right. I'll close these windows with the check marks, and now I am ready for my background. Okay? The second thing I want to do is I want to bring out 2 stars right off the bat. This star is going to represent some little spaceships that move around the screen that we have to destroy. This star is going to represent some other items that might float around in space that, if we happen to mistakenly click, could damage us and cause us to lose a life. Okay? Well, again, this is the evaluation version, so we're going to run into a couple of snags. But here's what we want to do. First off, we want this guy to move. So I'm going to just, to make it a little easier, get that guy out of the way. This guy should move, and to be really hard, he should be able to move up or down, left or right, or even on a diagonal. Well, this is going to be a nice chunk of coding for us, because if you think about that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 directions of movement, which means we actually have to teach this character how to do 8 things. And in our last video, you saw how we taught that green star to move up the screen. All right, so we're going to do that again. This green tool is the rule tool. I'll click on the green star. I'll drag up one box with the spotlight. Now this time, let's take a better look at this window. Okay, again, the before picture, the after picture. I want the spaceship to move up 1 square. All right. Before I hit done this time, let's utilize this window a little bit more. We can give it a name. So I'm going to click in here, and I'm just going to type in the words move up. And again, for now, that's all I wanted to do. So I'll hit done. All right, let's do another rule. This time, we'll go down. We're going to drag the bottom little handle to make it go down. We'll drag the star down a box, and we'll give it a good name. Move down. Pretty easy. Rule tool on the star. This time we'll go off to the right, drag them over, give it a name. Move right. All right. Click it, go to the left, drag it over, give it a name. Move left. So those are the 4 basic movements. Now let's do a diagonal. Click the star. Remember this from that orange star we played with? Move to the right and move up. We want this guy to go up here. All right, now, what should we call it? Earlier I said up, down, left, and right. I could call it move up right. Sometimes when I know I'm doing those kinds of movements, I'll use compass directions, like northwest, or I'm sorry, northeast for that one. All right, but let's stick to the up, down, left, right. So we're going to say up, right. All right, let's do the opposite one. Rule tool, down, left. Move them down there. Move, down, oops, left. Okay, all right, quiz time. I want you to move it from here to here. Go ahead, I'll wait a second. How'd you do? Let's see. Rule tool on the star. Go to the left. Go up. And again, you don't have to go left up. You could have gone up left. It doesn't matter. You're just making the spotlight. Okay? And then move up left. And that should leave us with just one direction. Oh, look. This rule has no actions. Are you done with it? Do you see what I did wrong? I forgot to tell it to move the star. Look at the pictures. They're identical. So, am I done? No, I'm not. I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to move the star where it should have gone. Then I'll hit done. That should leave only one direction of movement left, and that's down to the right. Okay? Down, right. And did you notice as I'm doing these rules, the order in which you do them really doesn't make any difference, right? The first bunch of rules, I actually did the movement stuff first, then I named it. All right, and the last couple I named it, then I did the movement. All right, it doesn't matter what order you do them in. As long as this window contains everything it needs to contain, you're fine. All right, I'm going to hit done. All right, so again, we got this guy out of our way, and we have this guy ready to roll with a whole ton of movements. To make it look cooler, let's temporarily turn off the grid. There we go. Now we're in outer space. Now let's see this guy move in all sorts of weird directions. Uh-oh. What's going on? He's not moving in all sorts of directions. Well, let's try it again. Let's put him over here. Look at that. Do you notice he's not moving? And we had that talk last video. It's because this guy is in the way, right? But look, what's this guy? If I slow it down a little bit, you see what's going on? All right, now watch. What if I put this guy here? I put this guy here. Can you figure out what's going to happen? Let's watch. Do you see that? Okay, what if we went one step further? What if we use that duplicate tool, create a yellow guy, put him here? So as you saw a second ago, he was going up, down, like on a diagonal, because he can't go down this way. Well, I've also just blocked so he can't go that way. Let's see what he does now. Oh, did you see that? He moved out of the way and then started the down movement. Well, what the heck? He's supposed to be moving in all sorts of directions. And then there it is again, that weird bounce. Well, this has something to do with how Stagecast executes the different rules that you have created. So I'm going to hit stop. I was going to delete it, but I think we'll leave them there for now. Let's just put them up here out of the way. Now let's put this guy down here. And we'll leave the grid turned off because in black it's really bright. If we double click a character, another window opens. It's called character 1-1. The first one means it was a green star. The second one means it's the first green star. Watch, if I come over to this yellow one, character 2, right, because it was the second star we brought out, first yellow star. But if I double click this one, second character we made, second copy of the character. You see the difference? 2-1, 2-2. You see, so even though we made a copy of the characters, they do have unique names, right? Okay, so let's go back and look at what we did with the green guy. These are the rules that we taught the green star, and notice they're numbered over here. And there are 8 of them. And there's a little triangle down here that says if there were more, you could scroll up. But we only have the 8, so it's just a little bit of that bottom rule we can't see. Okay? But I'm going to leave this window open as I try to throw out these guys. And we'll see what happens. I'm going to leave it in slow so we can really see what's going on. Okay? All right, whoops, I want to play. Okay. Oh, it's not doing it. Come on. Okay, well now it's doing it. I think it's doing it so fast we can't see it. If I had stopped for a second though, let's put them over here. And even before we did that, what it's going to do is show you what's going on over here. The way Stagecast runs is that you can create as many rules as you want for a character. But what it'll do is it'll always start at the top of the list, at the first rule in the list. And it'll try to ask, can I move down? Well, look, here's what was just going on. This scenario was going on. See the red dot? The red dot is Stagecast's way of saying, I can't move down. Because look, it's supposed to be an empty square right there. But the star is in the way. So it can't execute this rule. So it goes to the next one. Could I move up? Up here. Which it could. So it attempted to go up. That's why it's green. Okay? And then the last piece is once it gets to a rule it can do, it ignores everything else below it and it starts the list over again. That's what caused that bing, 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 bing business. And I think we can actually see it now. See that? And again, the green is going so fast we can't see it, but it's actually hitting. Okay, watch. If I do the step at a time, did you see? Couldn't do this one, could do this one. Let's step forward again. This time it could do this one. Do it again. Couldn't do that one, but could do this one. All right. And then here's that last scenario I tried to show you. What if I block off its ability to do this one? Okay, let's see what it does with single step mode. It moved out of the way. It couldn't go down right. It couldn't go up left, but it could go down left. So it got to the third one. And again, we could continue. What if you can't go down left? Can you see what's going to happen? It won't do this one. It won't do this one. It won't do this one. It'll do this one. So let's see if that's true. Did you see? Okay. So that's how it runs. But for our game's purposes, that's not going to work too well. We want this guy to be able to move around randomly. So in order to do that, we need to do something to the order over here. And as I just told you, it'll always run the first rule in the list that it knows how to do, or that it can do. They do randomness in this program, kind of neat. Do you see this box up here? They call it create a rule box. I like to think of it as a drawer in a dresser, because you can put stuff in this drawer. All you do is you point at your rule and drag it until the frame of this little box or this drawer turns yellow. When you let go, it looks like your rule has just deleted. But in actuality, we're putting them in the drawer. Notice the addition of this tab. There are all the rules. Notice it goes to number 7. Hit this little arrow. There's number 8. You see that? Okay, so now let's play it. Well, that's not exactly doing it, is it? And did you notice it was going up that time? Well, up happens to be the first rule in the list. But how come it's not moving randomly? It's doing that same, I can do it, I can't do it, I can do it, I can't do it business. Well, that's because we didn't tell the drawer to do something special. And that's what this menu does. Do first is the exact same thing that Stagecast does if these rules weren't in the drawer. In other words, do the first rule I know how to do and then repeat from the top of the list. But if we drop its little menu down, and again, the way this works is you have to hold down. Clicking it doesn't work. All right? You've got some other options in here. And as we do different sims and games, you'll see what they all do later. But we want this second one, do random. Now this is kind of neat. I'm going to not play it. I'm going to single step play it. Remember a second ago it moved up because up was at the top of the list. Watch what happens. Did you notice he went up this way? But look at the list. Move up is down here. Move up left is up top. This time I'll hit step forward. Don't look here. Look here. Did you notice what it did? It's almost like shuffling a deck of cards. Before it lets a character move, it shuffles the rules, then sees which rule it could do. All right, but now let's actually see what it could really do. There you go. You see that? Every time through, it shuffles the rules around, starts at the top of the list, and tries to see which rule it knows how to do. Now, while it's running, let's look at something else. Down here, do you see this little box? That little blue line is measuring or counting off clock ticks. They're not exactly seconds or microseconds or anything like that. And actually, how fast it moves will really depend on your computer. So I have a fairly powerful computer, So even on slow, mine is moving pretty fast. If you have an older or a newer computer than mine, even on slow, your star may be moving faster or slower than mine. So it's really tied to the clock speed of your actual computer. This is why they give you the option of increasing or decreasing the speed. Okay? And you can see the objective of this game is that you're supposed to try to click this guy. Well, the faster he's moving, there's just no way you're going to be able to click it. Okay? And I want to show you one more thing. I'm going to go back to this speed, second speed. All right, notice how fast he's moving? Watch what happens if I close this window. Ready? Watch his speed. I don't know if you caught it, but he jumped a little bit in speed. All right? The less that the software has to render on the screen, the faster the stuff runs. Okay? And then I'll hit stop. And then, as we learned last time, if you create multiple versions on the screen, and I want to see if I can hit an upper threshold in our evaluation version today. What is that? 5, 6. I want to see if there's a number that we can do. 7, 8, 9. It's going to be 10. 10. How about 11? Oh, so it doesn't look like they have a limit, or maybe the limit's even bigger. It might have to be, because sometimes you fill up the entire stage with characters. But that's 11 of these stars. And again, at that nice second speed, look at this. You see that? Now this might be a game where this moving one at a time might be a good thing. They're pretty slow right now, but if I up it one notch, that could be pretty good. Again, you know, you're supposed to try to click these guys, you see? And eventually you're going to have a bunch of these yellow guys moving around the same way. And the objective is, you know, to click the green guys, not the yellow guys, you see? All right. All right, so I'm going to hit stop. All right. So we are at 22 minutes, so we've got about 8 more minutes. So here's what I want to do. We're supposed to click these. We're supposed to not click these, okay? So to make it fun, we want there to be as many of these guys as there are those guys, right? But as you noticed, these guys aren't moving yet. All right, so if I stop, double-click a green guy, you see it does a ton of stuff, right? If I open that drawer, there's all the rules. Now, did you also notice on the drawer, if I close it with that tab again, you can give it a name. So I'm going to call this random movement. See that? All right. Just to make it a little cleaner for us to understand. All right, another way to open a drawer is to point in this area and double click. And I tend to do that a lot more, because did you notice when I closed it earlier, I had to scroll up to get to the tab? Well, you don't have to do that, because this piece will always be available, okay? So the green guy's got his rules, but if I double click the yellow guy, they don't know how to do anything. This time I'll leave this window open as we program it. And this time I'm just going to go pretty fast, because we've done this before. I want to do the same 8 rules for this guy that I did with this guy, okay? So I'm just going to do the exact same thing that I did before, okay? And for now, we're just going to keep it easy and just define the movement, give it a name. That's all we'll do, okay? And actually what I think I'll do is pause the video while I create these 8 rules, and then I'll be back. So let's see, I got 6 minutes left. Oh, guys, I came back. I hit another threshold. Look at this. I only have 2 rules defined for the yellow star. But look at what Stagecast is telling me. Sorry, this is the evaluation version. You may not create more than 10 rules in it. And then again, how can you buy it? Well, look, I only have 2 rules. What do you mean 10 rules? Can you figure out what happened? Look, remember? We have 8 rules here, 2 rules here. So we've got a barrier. So if we're going to use the evaluation version for this little game, we're going to have to do some tweaks. Well, I think what we could do is get away with taking these out. So why don't we say the X tool will get rid of the diagonal movements. That should drop down the green set of rules to 4. Okay, and actually, because we're going to need some more rules for something else later, why don't we say that the green guys can randomly move up and down, okay, while the yellow guys can randomly move left and right. So that'll only use 4 rules. That'll leave 6 rules for later. All right, so let's see. Let's show you a couple tricks here. So I've got, I think I said 11 of these green guys. Let's delete one of them. So we have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. We've got 3 yellow guys, so we need 7 more. Watch this trick. Remember I showed you that you click, you got an extra guy. All right. What if you need a bunch of extra guys? So right now I need 6 more guys. I can click the star, and instead of clicking, I can hold down my mouse and drag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let go. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? All right, we're going to move these guys around, spread them out. And we'll even move some of these green guys in here. Okay? And remember, each of these guys is only programmed to move in 2 directions. Okay? If I finish it off in here, I'll do a random movement. Remember? Do random. And I'll place these rules in the drawer. So it's exactly like we did for the green guys. Okay? Then we'll hit play. Look at that. Okay. Increase the speed a little bit. Whoa, too much. Too much. Okay. Well, look at that. That's kind of slow. That's way too fast. So are we out of options? Well, what if you told them to all move together? So we'll say stop. Turn that on. Play it now. Look. Slow it down. There we go. Moving at the same time, second speed, 20 stars. So yeah, this could very well do it. So you know your guys are only going up and down, the ones you want to get. So you could sit there and you could try to eyeball it until, you know, one of those green guys gets under your mouse, right? You see that? Okay. However, the yellow guys are also moving around. Okay. All right, so I'm going to hit stop. And then we're almost out of time today. So before we run out of time, we need to save our sim. See up here it says new sim 1. We haven't saved it yet. And to save it, we actually have to open up a menu that's hidden under this little purple box up here. And we're going to come down to Save Sim As. And if I bring this window down, on my desktop, I have a folder for Stagecast. And you'll see in here that this is the recording from the first video I did. So I'm going to use it just for dual purposes. We're going to call it Click Space Game. All right. And we'll save it. Notice, Click Space Game. Now if I go back up to that menu and I say Open a Sim, see what it's called? It's got the little Stagecast icon. but it's a .sim file, which is made in Stagecast Creator. You see that? All right, so in our next episode, we'll actually have to open that sim so that we can continue work. All right? Okay, until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.